Neighbourhood Watch. Chapter 13. It was almost 6 when Bill drove Laura home. They had decided to talk to Professor Wemmer, the neighbor with Indian roots, the next morning. The house was empty and everything had been cleaned up. Laura wondered if Nigel was still with her father, but she didn't call Bruce to find out. "You have to trust him," Josh had said. She longed to see him tonight, but Nigel still had her car, though he had promised to be back by 6. She sat on the kitchen doorstep to the patio with a Diet Coke between her knees and wondered if she should call Josh to invite him over. The idea didn't seem to make much sense because of Nigel. Her little brother didn't need to make friends with her lover. The phone in the kitchen rang and Laura jumped up. She ran into the kitchen and picked up the receiver. "Yes? Can I She knew at once it was Sam Bullock's. Nobody but him would want to stutter his way through a phone call. "No, you can't. Nigel is not in. What do you want?" She heard the sound of the connection being cut off and put down the receiver herself. "Holy cow," she murmured. "What are these boys planning now?" 10 minutes later, Nigel came in. He seemed in a brilliant mood, which changed at once when he heard who had called. "May I have your car again? Just for a quarter of an hour?" Laura remembered Josh's words. "Okay, but hurry up. I need to see a colleague tonight." Nigel rushed out, slamming the door shut behind him. Laura felt weak. She called Josh to tell him she would be half an hour late, but he didn't seem to have a problem with this. "You did right perfect, Laura." He tried to cheer her up. "Just trust him, don't ask. You see, he will be all right." But when Laura had hung up, she thought that she had heard an undertone of doubt in Josh's voice. Josh was right, at least in one respect. Nigel came back with a car 10 minutes later. His mood still seemed below par. Laura tried to smile at him to encourage him to talk without asking directly, but Nigel didn't respond to her indirect question. Laura left him shortly afterwards. She took Nigel's death metal CD from the player and pressed her oldest Tracy Chapman CD in. She felt slightly better when she arrived at Josh's house in Monash. He took her in the arms and kissed her softly and long. It wasn't easy to keep a professional distance between them at work, but the weekends and the odd night during the week had to suffice. Josh had prepared an Italian dinner for the two of them, with a nicely laid table. They enjoyed the meal in his secluded garden. The peaceful view over the wildlife pond and the rockery was a perfect antidote for the worries Laura had heard about Nigel and Sam Bullock's, and about her father. Only the clouds that gathered above the large fir trees at the end of the garden indicated that the storm might be approaching.